Hey, what is up, everyone, and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. Today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at some Bitcoin mining stocks and seeing where their current value is at today. So let's start off with fear and greed, and still kind of surprised that CNN and pie vesting are still up in the greed and extreme greed area. I'm sure after the way the markets reacted yesterday, we'll probably see that have a little bit of a downturn today. As far as crypto, you can see that it was up in the neutral territory, but then has started coming back down into fear. And we're still watching this downtrend to see, is it going to confirm a reversal to the upside and create a new higher high from this mark right here, or is it getting ready to do another higher low? So if crypto does get under this 50 level, do know that tends to be pretty decent times the dollar cost average in. And as far as alt season, you guys can see here, still relatively low. So if you're looking to get in on some Bitcoin mining stocks, now is probably not the worst time. And if you believe in the crypto cycle, how crypto can be undervalued and then in short periods of time very overvalued, then now would be probably a better time to dollar cost average in. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice, just we're taking prior data and applying it to today. So overall you can see that we are down in one of these green zones here for as far as accumulating or overall crypto prices. So should we get another cycle spike sometime within the next year or two, then you could make the argument that Bitcoin mining stocks, altcoins, even Bitcoin are still relatively cheap compared to what they could be. So Bitcoin, going over to the daily chart, you guys can see here, we had about 13 days up that were green. Now I turn on Heikin-Ashi candles because it kind of cuts out the noise and you can see more of the trends. And right now we are in a downtrend, and we're going to see if the light blue is the 100, the orange is the 50-day moving average can hold. If not, you have the 200, and if the 200-day moving average isn't able to hold, then we're looking down here at this trend line somewhere around 56. And then the lower area of this channel around 53. So those would be the most important areas to hold before we get to the fib and even weekly moving averages down there. Something else to remember that's very important for Bitcoin mining stocks, you're going to want to add this to your charts if you do your own charting, and that's Bitcoin dominance. And a lot of these Bitcoin mining stocks, at least ones that were around the last cycle or two, you can see here when dominance drops all the way down to the low 40%. That's when these mining stocks take off. That's when they peak, or that's when they have before. So some of these, I'm going to be talking about predictions, possible price predictions that to a new person to crypto, it might seem ridiculous. Some of these mining stocks might be talking about the potential to do a 5x, a 10x, even a 20x. I know it seems ridiculous, having been in the last two crypto cycles where some of these assets did even more, 80x, 100x or more. I just got to say, it's one of those things you won't see it till you believe it. So if we get another alt season as we did here in 2017, 2021, you're going to see these things again. And really it's about getting into the right mining stocks, and you got to do your research and hopefully pick the right one. So let's start off with one of the best Bitcoin mining stocks, and that is Marathon Digital Holdings, or MARA. And right now, MARA is at a level of 15. You can see here is trying to get above this 0.5 macro fib. Now, I drew this fib from the prior high to low, and you can see here, as it was trying to get above that macro fib, it has some weekly resistances it encountered and was able to wick, but not really get above at all, candle body wise, at least last week. So staying under that 200, holding on to the 0.5. If it's not able to really hold on to that 0.5, then you would have to follow this trend line next, and we'd be looking for possible deals at around $13, 13 and a half if it lost that trend line. than the 382 here at 1082. And I like Mara. I think it's one of the better mining stocks. And should it get down to this 10-ish dollar area, I would like that a lot. You can see the last all-time high, peak 21, that was at $83. And something important to note is that the market caps for the best mining stocks last time around were between 20 to 30 billion dollars. So even just repeating what happened in 2021, that'd be about a 5 or a 6x, at least for Mara. This time around, I think that market cap number can go even higher. I'm eyeing, give or take, somewhere 40 to 50 billion as some possible price targets that seem to line up with some of the fib extensions. So that's kind of how I'm calculating the potential tops. We can take the fib, take it off log scale. I'm just going to do this for Mara. I'm not going to do this for every single one because it'd take too much time. But when you draw your macro fib, if you take it off log scale, you can see some of these extensions. And then you can just reverse calculate the market cap. So, for example, if you believe Mara could go to 213, what you do is you take 213 divided by the current price, $15, whatever that number is, you then multiply that by market cap, and that would be around your guess as far as what the market cap could be. So you do want your price predictions to be somewhat realistic. When I take a look at many of the top altcoins on coinmarketcap.com, once it decides to load, even for many of the altcoins, I'm not talking about the very, very top 5 or 10, but many of the other ones, you're looking at possible market caps between the 50 to 100 billion dollars for top 20, top 25 altcoins. So if we're talking more of the $50 billion mark, we're talking about probably what some of the top 50 altcoins could do by the end of the alt season. So just something to keep in perspective. I know a lot of crypto YouTubers, people on X, they love to ignore market cap, but you do want to have realistic expectations as well. And that's saying a lot, guys, because even if I'm talking about realistic expectations being something like a 10x, a 20x, and there's people with even more ridiculous expectations promising you potential of 100x, you want to be cautious of that type of narrative. So, even as I make these videos, even though I was in crypto during the 2017-2021 bull market, even I sometimes saying this stuff have a hard time believing, like, could this really do a 10x, a 20x again? We'll see. That's what we're kind of banking on. But a lot of us, we don't necessarily need a 10x or a 20x and do have a plan on how to scale out. Speaking of 20x potential, Riot, you can see right here, look at the bottom of the screen, by the way. These dates, it lines up with alt season, okay? December 17, February 21, lines up with the last two alt seasons. And if we just continue this trend line up, and you can do the thing that I did before where you take this fib off log scale, there could be a price target somewhere around 170, 180. So again, possible big potential, $2 billion market cap. So if we're talking 20x, that would be something around 40-ish billion. But again, something to keep in mind, guys, and this goes for any stock. When I'm investing into stocks, if I see a chart like this, I really have to believe in that stock, and I've done my research, because right now it is not showing as much strength as other stocks or stocks that I would hope. So if you believe in alt season, if you believe in Riot or any of these crypto mining stocks, and you see levels down here and you're wanting to buy, the positive side is there's greater potential for returns should there be another crypto cycle, another alt season. The downside is just plainly that the stock and the price action sucks right now. So is it really going to do as well as last time? Is it going to make a new higher high? I don't know those answers. But if you are getting into this one as more of a quote unquote educated gamble, then you can't argue with the prices down here being pretty decent value. So Riot at around $7. I like Riot. Let's add on a buy sell signal, even though it's probably saying sell. Yeah, it's saying sell on the weekly, but that is a doji. Let's zoom in on the daily. Yeah, you can see there's this upward trend that it broke under, back down to the trend line. So Riot might be possible a good dollar cost average area right here. Another way I look at when to get into stock or crypto, so I'm not catching a falling knife. One is that buy sell signal. Sometimes you can buy the dips on the fibs or the moving averages, but if you're looking for confirmation to the upside or move up, I like to put this on. You see the dailies going down, put this on the weekly, and whenever the stock RSI starts to flip positive, that's blue above orange on the weekly, that tends to be good dollar cost average areas to buy. So it was over there a couple weeks ago. It's back there again. So you could argue still decent area to DCA in if you like Riot. All right, let's start moving through these. Sorry, I've been talking a little bit long here. Clean Spark, let's take a look at this on the weekly. You can see that's flipped positive and is still at that 0.5 fib. So I think that's a pretty decent area. It's holding support. Should it get down under that level, we have this trend line at about $7. I'm going to take the stock RSI off just so we can see the chart better. But again, I don't hate it here. If you were able to catch it down here around the trend line, I think that'd be even better. Of course, was at the 382 fib lines around $6. So maybe it could get down there. But if so, I like these areas. Why am I keep getting these advertisements? I like these areas in here as some good dollar cost average potential. And again, guys, we can't necessarily expect to see returns that soon until we truly have alt season, until we have Bitcoin dominance falling. So right now, we're waiting, we're hoping for that it happens again. And should 2025, be that 4-year cycle year as we've had before, you won't care if you've gotten in on any of these mining stocks that do run, whether it's up here or down here. Speaking of Cypher, so you can see there is this upward trend. We don't have to draw a trend line, but it was able to come on up and get back to the 618 fib. So clearly, let's do add a buy sell signal to this. Clearly, it would have had a buy signal, encountering some resistance here, though. So I think, what was it, Mara, where it countered some resistance around the weekly moving averages. We'll see if it can hold or get above. But if it's not able to hold and get above these moving averages, then you could see Cypher possibly coming back down initially to this $3 level, maybe even as low as 240. And if so, I like Cypher. I like their balance sheet. I'd say it's good potential buy areas down in here. Let's go over to TerraWolf. I know we have a few TerraWolf fans that are subscribed. Shout out to you guys. Man, this happened again. So we were talking about this 0.5 fib area, reclaiming it, as well as the 200 weak moving average being in strong resistance. It got smacked down by that. So I don't like seeing these lower highs here. We do have higher lows, so this is wedging up in here, and we do have a doji. So maybe a big move's coming one way or another. But if this doji is to stay red and bearish, and if there is more bearishness coming, at least for the beginning parts of October, then you could see TerraWolf coming down to one of these levels. You can see is able to hold onto the 100-week moving average. So when I look at charts, I look for what moving average does any asset like, and you can see going back likes the 50 a lot. So if it was able to get under the 100, the 50s down here around the low threes, it was able to tag this 382 at around 290. But I think if you're able to get it for the mid $3 area, that wouldn't be bad. That'd be some good deeper value. But again, if it went deeper, even down to this trend line, if you like Wolf, I'd say those are great buying areas. Let's take a look at Bit Digital. Bit Digital, positive move up, though we do have these lower highs. And right now, for the fourth time, it's not able to really get above that 200-week moving average. So if it is to come back down to these levels, we were talking about this fib before, the 382. It came down there, 257. But if it is to get smacked down, you have these moving averages at around 3 and then 250 for some deeper value areas for Bit Digital. Let's take a look at Bitfarms. In Bitfarms, yeah, coiling right in here on all the moving averages as far as support and resistance. Look at that doji. Right now it's a sell signal, but these dojis can flip either way, and it's near the 0.5. So kind of like this here is an area to consider dollar cost averaging. But if it is to get bearish, then you're looking at these areas down here holding the mid $1 to the kind of $180 range. If it isn't able to hold there, then you have a $1.30. But if it is to flip positive and turn bullish and get above all these moving averages, turn them into support, next we have that trend line and that $3 area, 280, 290 to contend with. So if you like bit farms, not a bad area here, but this could turn negative quick, and if it loses the 0.5, possibly watch out or look out for some better discounts. Again, market psychology, we kind of want to flip the narrative. When people say bearish, people feel disheartened by the market going downwards. We want to get excited and look for better deals. IREN, holding on to that trend line. We've been talking about this one for a while, and it just keeps holding on to that trend line. So if you believe in this trend line, not the worst area, I'd say, obviously be great if you got in anywhere down here. But it stay along with this trend line, then the next area that it's had trouble with before, that's a 786 macro fib at around the high $13 mark. You're getting it here at around $8. So I don't know, 40% off, something like that. So if you like Iris Energy, okay area to dollar cost average in. Obviously, we'd like deeper value, but the chart's holding up better. So again, comparing this to something like Riot, you would like a chart like this more. It's showing more strength, and even though you might not have as deep a value or potential for, a 20, 30x return, look at that market cap. Should Iris be one of those next possible big Bitcoin mining stocks? The market cap ain't too bad. It's at around $1.40. So this one came out November 21 at the peak of the last bull market. Was up at $27. So should this one keep this positive momentum, who knows? Sky's the limit. And last one, let's take a look at Core Scientific. So Core Scientific, we drew this fib a while ago, and it is making new highs. So let's change our fib here. And by the way, you guys see that we're drawing that fib from the low to the high, or at least trying to. And you can see, well, at least from the prior high that we drew to, it came back down to, I want to say it's a 3.2, but now it's making newer highs. So, should it get rejected down here, you would take a look at these levels, possible buy opportunities at around the high $8 mark or $7 mark in a very bearish scenario. So myself personally, I don't touch new stocks, new cryptos that are less than a year old or within a year of a potential top of the market. You're taking more of a gamble with these ones. So if you do your research, you like it, heck, give it a shot. But I've been burnt by these. I've known many people. It's just, it's way more risky. I will say, like, getting in on some of the newer cryptos, newer mining stocks, you can hit those bigger potential multiples. And here you see a market cap of 3 billion. So Iris a little bit lower. Could this be a 10x? Maybe. But again, any of these newer ones, I just, more often than not, I see them as way more volatile and possible rug pulls. So I am somewhat concerned that it's like doing so well so early. And altcoins that have not done well during alt season, I've seen this before. I'm not saying this is going to happen with Core Scientific, but I see this where it does well before alt season and then it just dies into it. So do be careful of that. I wouldn't be touching it, but if you really like it, again, just don't invest more than you can afford to lose. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know in the comments below, which mining stocks do you like or see some potential into? And as far as market cap, do you guys have any market cap numbers or ranges that you're looking for as far as next potential top areas for some of these mining stocks? So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great Wednesday. Take care.